This is the Princess Grace, the Open Women's Quads, Nottingham University on the left of our picture with the yellow blades, and Oxford Brookes again on the right of our picture with their classic stripy blades. Off to a clean start, and well, it looks like Brookes' power is already showing a little bit.
The Brookes crews tend to be the most ferocious off the start. Again, everyone knows that those crews are ready to race, and that's what we see here, really taking the race by the scruff of its neck.
Yeah, Brookes warned for steering by umpire Richard Phelps in Artemisia, his umpire's launch, but they've corrected pretty quickly and it hasn't affected the early advantage, and they really are moving fast, Kath, taking well, several centimetres per stroke off their opposition from Nottingham.
They are really lively in the water. They're making sure that at that high rate, they're still very cohesive, really sharp the way they cover the blades. They're in and they can drive them once they're covered, whereas it's just a little slower to cover them in the Nottingham University crew. Everything just a frame perhaps behind, and that's the only difference now between the crews. Both really well drilled, but a bit more power, a bit more sharpness, a bit more drive in that Oxford Brookes crew.
Yeah, you're right. So it's kind of quite punchy, isn't it, the Brookes crew? You can see once they connect those oars in the water, it really punches through fast and pushes the boat along, and you know, rowing's a push sport really, isn't it? And you've got to push the boat away, and that's what they're doing.
It is, but Nottingham they're putting in the pushes because they know they don't want to let Oxford Brookes break free, so they have to really make sure they can't afford to sort of settle. They have to try and keep attacking.
Well, here we are back now live at the halfway mark, and Brookes continue to have that distinctive quick pick-up that you talked about, Kath, and well, Nottingham having a go at attacking again, but this is a tough time as you've expended a lot of energy trying to stay on terms early on, and the question is there more left? Have they got the fitness to respond?
It's about staying in the moment, putting in the moves that you planned, maybe with some flexibility to bring them earlier, but I think they're doing a great job. They're staying really calm in that Nottingham crew, and they're just focusing on what they do, and they have not been dropped.
Yep, Oxford Brookes haven't quite got the break between the crews that you might want, and they're continuing to have to push along quite hard here. Good to see a close race again in bow from Oxford Brookes. We've got Jen Hoffman, 22 years old, Alice Harper at 2:26, Charlotte Wedderburn at 3:22, and as we look at the stroke woman Sina Schaefer trying to respond now, she needs to be paying attention because there's a strong push coming in from Nottingham.
That's right, I saw Grace Johnson, she took a look, she came back and she gave that call, and they just sharpened themselves up, just sharpened a pit, one more stroke per minute, and they can perhaps feel as well that they know where the Oxford Brookes crew is. She's looking across, she's obviously talking, she's obviously saying, come on, we can still do this, we've got to make sure we stay in our own boat. But look, another quick look from Grace Johnson, who is attacking.
And you spotted that so well, Kath, and this is a vital point of the race, isn't it? How do you respond? Can you keep the cohesion together? I really think that Nottingham are coming through strongly. I think Brookes are steering towards the middle, and I think that Richard Phelps will be reaching for the flag in his bag. He doesn't want to see any crew impede the other. What a great attack from Nottingham.
It's all about trying to pressure Oxford Brookes, that powerful start. You want to try and make them pay for it, but Oxford Brookes are canny, they're experienced, they have the training, you know they have a hard winter's training in the bank, and that is enough for them to continue to dominate.
Yeah, I think you're right. There was a moment, wasn't there? And perhaps Brookes could have responded a little bit earlier. Perhaps they got into just focusing on the rhythm and their flow and so on, and then suddenly, you know, once the Nottingham crew starts to accelerate, you've got a couple of beats, I think, really, before your boat can start to accelerate and respond. So you can't afford to drift off for a second. Not that they did necessarily, but it shows you how quickly things can change in these races.
Great to see both these crews really attacking it. You can see there the power, that focus, that two-girl Charlotte, Alice Harper. Alice is just giving the calls there, keeping them on their race plan. They'll have pushes planned, and it'll be up to her to maybe make sure you respond if there's something the other crew are doing. But really solid.
Yeah, I think it's always good if you've got the bow steered boat to have the two-person making the calls, because it gives them the chance to be really focused on what's going on in the race, and the bow can focus on you know, setting the boat up well and making sure it's in a good position on the river.
Yeah, I think it's about playing to strengths, isn't it? Finding out who's the best steersman, finding out who gives the motivational calls at the right moment. In itself, it's a skill. It's one of those things you learn in different boats. Who are the best people when you're racing? Who are the best people when you're training? And it looks like they've got a great combination going.
Yeah, and you know, Nottingham keep attacking, Kath. I just saw that Grace Johnson, bow seat of Nottingham, glancing across again and saying, let's have another go before it's too late. And that's what they're doing, coming through into the enclosures here at Henley. Nottingham trying to attack again. This time I think Brookes are right on it, and they're not giving them any quarter.
So Nottingham had good race experience, 4th overall at Bucks Regatta in the Championship Cox's Quads. At Henley Women's Regatta, they were 4th overall, losing in the semi-final. So they've had a good summer of racing, and they absolutely know they have to be on their mettle to have any chance in this race. And I love the way they've just been looking across, and Grace, here they go again. They're going to fight once more.
Yeah, you've got to go, and you've got to go again, and you've got to go again, and that's where you really test the land training you've done, the work on the rowing machine. And I'm really impressed actually with the spirit with which Nottingham University attack and attack and attack. Grace looks across again, not looking too much, but just enough to get the information she needs to motivate her crew, to position them for a final attack coming up into the enclosures now. Only about 300 metres left on the track here, so I think it's going to be a big challenge to get Oxford Brookes, who've managed to sit well, row well, keep that length, and keep what you talked about right at the start, Kath, that sort of sharpness and punchiness to their stroke. That's given them the edge over the young crew from Nottingham University, but still Nottingham come. Fantastic effort for them.
Really great. Both crews, I think Oxford Brookes have just had that extra punch, but they have not been able to relax as much as they may have hoped. Really gutsy row from Nottingham.
So this is the Princess Grace Challenge Cup, the women's quads event here at Henley, started in 2001 in its 20th year, and Oxford Brookes would like to see their names engraved on that trophy as they cross the line ahead of University of Nottingham. You can see they're pretty pleased with that result. It was a demanding race, and Nottingham, great credit to those young women. Attack, 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 and attack again, hold their composure, and really laid it down the track. Fantastic race.